and welcome back to another look at a Warcry tier list. However, this time we're not focusing on the tier list overall, but we are looking at the warbands that come in pre-packed boxes, so that's the 7 Chaos warbands and the 3 warbands Nighthaunt, Stormcast Eternals and Gloomspite Gits, which you can get like separately as a single Warcry box. And I'm having a look at how good these warbands stack up as compared to all the other warbands competitively. So if you just buy one box of, let's say, Iron Golems, how good are they going to be? So what you can see here on this first page is the normal tier list. I've zoomed in because people asked me to. Let me give you the full view of that as well. There you go. That's the full view. So I've marked the important warbands yellow here. So as you can see, we have Corvus Cabal is very high, and this is without. Sorry, this is what we did previously. So this is with list building, which will oftentimes require more than one box. So for example, in my Corvus Cabal list, I have 2 Shrike Talents. So you can't expect to be on tier 2 with only building one warband and buying one box. So you can see Corvus Cabal, Splintered Fang are very high up there. Then we've got Stormcast Vanguard, who are also very high on the list because the hounds are very strong, which again are not included in the Warcry box at all. So that's important. We've got the Cypher Lords, the Gloomspite Gits, and the Untamed Beasts here, still in the upper half of the board. Again, the Untamed Beasts will have the Drogtas Prowler Trice, which is great. Then we've got, towards the bottom, we've got the Unmade, the Spire Tyrants, which is mainly due to the fact that Unmade, for example, their very best model is the leader, so you can't bring her twice, so she doesn't really benefit from having more boxes as much as bands like Corvus Cabal, for example, do. And you've got the Spire Tyrants, who are more towards the bottom. But for example, these guys have very good damage output because I'm not using the shield guys at all in this warband. And then we've got Night Haunted Iron Golems, who are very much bottom tier here. So now let's have a look at what happens when we use the standard warbands that come right out of the box. So right away you can see that things drop. We've got the Corvus Cabal, who used to be in 2nd, are now in 5th place, so already dropping down quite considerably. Again, that's due to the Strike Talon missing, and yeah, just some small changes. Then something that's important to notice here as well, previously Splintered Fang were in 3rd place, now they are nowhere to be seen. They are down here, 14th place. So when using the Splintered Fang, I think the ideal box, the very competitive one, is using a lot of the snake models. But you can see still, like using the full box where you only have one snake and all the other fighters, you can still get into 15. So they are still a good warband, as is Corvus Cabal, for example. They are both still very competitive, just not as much in the high tier as they used to be. Then we've got Gloomspite Gits, which interestingly, I think they rank higher here. No, yes they do. That's interesting because I think it's mainly due to the high movement, because if you buy the box, you basically only have the hoppers. You can only buy quick hoppers, and you get some of the sneaky snufflers. Yeah, so your movement is higher. The issue really is you have very low model counts, and your survivability is also going to suffer a lot. And I think what's interesting here is I haven't changed the abilities things, but keep in mind, if you are only buying this Gloomspite Gits Warcry box, you're not going to be able to use many of the abilities because many abilities are tied to models which you won't have. So I should have probably decreased the ability ranking as well, which then would have put these guys lower again. Because, for example, one of the best models in my opinion for Gloomspite Gits is the net, the goblin with the net. You won't be able to use him um, without that box, with that box. So yeah, already you're dropping down in value there. What I would like to say though is you can easily make the Gloomspite Gits box good by buying the Zarbax Gits Warband, which is like a Underworld's Warband for the Gloomspite Gits. That's very good. Then you have the Stormcast Vanguard also dropping down a bit. You can see they used to be place 8, now they are 13, so quite considerably 5 places down. Main reason for that again is that you don't have the Gryph-hounds. The Gryph-hounds are very good damage, they are very mobile, just awesome fighters overall, great ability, and in this case you'll be forced to go with the 3 Ether Wings and then a couple of the actual Stormguard guys with Hurricane Crossbows and so on, so yet you're just dropping down value here. And one more thing to mention for both the Gits and the Vanguard, it's very hard to make a list that comes near 1000 points, because all of their models are very expensive. Even for the Gloomspite Gits, the cheapest model is 85 points. And all the other models are 200 points and up, so it's very hard to make good lists just out of the standard boxes there. Then we've got the Untamed Beasts. I think they haven't changed much. Yeah, they used to be basically in the same place they are now. Again, I don't have a Rocktusk Prowler, another one, but other than that, it's very similar. I didn't change much about the list here. Cypher Lords, interestingly, again, is one that apparently, yeah, they dropped down a little bit, but again, not too much. Just a couple of ranks, down from 13th rank to 17th rank, so 4 ranks down. Not horrible, I'd say. That's middle ground here, almost on 17 points, so very close to average of a performance for the Warband, so not too bad. Then we've got Unmade. They've taken a they've not changed their position at all, actually. That's interesting, yeah. Okay. Apparently, buying Unmade out of the box is just as good as trying to min-max them. Okay, fair enough. Then we've got the Spy Tyrants, and you can see they didn't like this at all. Mainly that's due to the average damage. You can see the Spy Tyrants' average damage is very good normally. Sorry, if you buy multiple boxes. If you only buy one, it's not as good, because I was using 3 Head Claimers in the Spire Tyrants box because they are better than the Bestigo Destroyer and a lot better than the Pit Veterans as well. So using the Head Claimers and then a lot of the Spear guys is just a lot more ideal than using the out-of-the-box models. So that's why you see the considerable drop there. Then we've got Nighthaunt and Iron Golems, who used to be down there, and they still are. Nothing has changed for them. That's just due to the fact that these 3 warbands are just absolutely horrible. So even making Nighthaunt and Iron Golem lists worse has not changed the fact that they are better than these 3 warbands, because they are horrible. So yeah, that's really my 2 cents on this topic. As you can see, I think it's still possible to play competitively with warbands out of the box. However, you can definitely see basically all of them have fallen in ranks. So not being able to pick and choose the models you really want for your warband is going to make you less competitive. And yeah, some people have mentioned it before, but Spire Tyrants and Iron Golems are just not great warbands at all. So if you want to be competitive, or like if you care about winning a couple of times in your lifetime, I would not recommend getting these warbands for playing against other people, especially competitively. Um, yeah, always depends what your opponents are playing. If you have opponents who like to play the Warrior Chamber or whatever, Ossiarch Bone Reapers, Iron Jaws, then I think you can totally get away with playing Iron Jaws or Spire Tyrants. If your wife is playing Skaven and you want to play Iron Golems, you're probably in for a bad time. Anyways, guys, enough of my rambling. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.